Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. It is me, Lauren Conlin. I am currently freezing. It is so cold in New York City. It completely turned a corner. And I mean, I'm not complaining. I like the cold weather, but it was a little shocking and jarring. So, welcome to the live stream today. I am expecting DeWitt Gilmore, also known as Relentless Aaron, to join me for an interview. I texted him reminding him, so hopefully he'll be on any moment now. Hey Dizzy, hey Sheila, hey Sinead. But I will wait patiently for him. However, I am prepared just in case, because you guys know that sometimes this happens with guests and live streams and whatnot. Hey Forrest, how are you? So I have a few things that I want to start with. I am gonna pull up right now his lawsuit. This is DeWitt Gilmore's lawsuit. It's really scary. It's from the summer of 1996, if you're not familiar. And guys, I also interviewed him outside of the federal courthouse. He was holding the sign, The Night Puff Tried to Kill Me. That's his book. So he recently went on Banfield, and I watched him on Banfield, and I loved what he had to say. He had some really interesting things that he pointed out that I'll go over. But his lawsuit alleges that, and I'll read part of this to you just because it's so crazy. And this is really different than any of the lawsuits we've seen, because most of the lawsuits involve SA, sexual assault. So this says, well, let's go right to the factual allegations. On a night in the summer of 1996, plaintiff DeWitt Gilmore was assaulted by defendant Sean Combs and a group of his associates, including his bodyguard, on a street in New York City exiting a club. So I have to think that this is Gene Deal, but I'm not sure. He doesn't say his name. I mean, I think so, but that's me speculating. But the allegations go on to say that the plaintiff, in the company of his friends Lance Calfey and Rico, approached his vehicle, and a Zuzu trooper parked near the club. As the plaintiff, that's DeWitt Gilmore, and his friends prepared to leave, defendant Combs and his associates pulled up in a gold convertible with Combs positioned in the passenger seat and his bodyguard driving. So again, this is 1996. He's made a name for himself at this point. It's Bad Boy Records. It's been around for the last 3 years. It is growing steam, and he's somebody. So he's really intimidating. I fully feel like if Puffy rolled up with a bunch of his goons and guns, I would be like, oh no, this is not good. Not a good thing here. So it says that defendant Combs initiated a verbal confrontation with the plaintiff, taunting him with derogatory language and escalating the situation with threats of violence. His words, including "What's up, bitch," were intended to provoke and intimidate Combs. So the encounter intimidate the plaintiff. The encounter rapidly intensified as defendant Combs' bodyguard and additional vehicles carrying armed associates, I mean, that's men with guns, essentially, joined to form an entourage, and they surrounded the plaintiff's vehicle. So defendant Combs and his associates blocked the plaintiff's car, creating a sense of immediate danger. Defendant Combs' associates brandished firearms, and then shots were fired. Fearing for his life, Gilmore, with Lance Calfey and Rico as witnesses, were aggressively chased through the dark city streets and managed to evade the scene by accelerating through traffic, narrowly escaping a deadly ambush. That is terrifying, truly. As a result of this incident, DeWitt Gilmore has suffered significant emotional and psychological distress, fear of retaliation, and harm to his reputation. He was unable to bring this case forward at the time due to defendant Combs' considerable influence and power in the entertainment industry. So that says a lot right there. And I'm going to make myself a little bigger. So This lawsuit is different because this lawsuit is assault and battery. And you have to wonder how he's able to bring this forth in New York State, because the statute for these lawsuits generally is only 1 to 2 years in New York. Well, if you have quote unquote new evidence that you're presenting, that's a different story, apparently. So, the quote unquote new evidence that he has, or yeah, has presented, is he recently reconnected with somebody that he was with that night, Lance Calfe. So they've had no contact for years and years. And now Lance can essentially corroborate everything that happened that night. And he says that, DeWitt Gilmore is being truthful, and it was a totally terrifying situation and very, very intense. So Calfe's account serves as recently discovered evidence, which is significant enough to reopen the case beyond the usual statute of limitations due to the unique circumstances of intimidation and safety concerns that delayed earlier action. So Mr. Calfe's statement was obtained in September of 2024 and corroborates DeWitt Gilmore's experience of the attack and identities. So Combs is a primary instigator. Providing essential new information to this filing is Lance Calfe. So that is, I think that's really important, and why this lawsuit is going to move forward. So let me just see. He said okay that he's signing on. So let's see if he does. But I also want to point out something that he said during his interview with Ashley Banfield, and this is something for us all to think about, is no celebrities have come forward and spoken out against Puffy at this point. And I think it's important to recognize that we saw him assault Cassie on national television, on CNN. We saw this. And we haven't really seen anyone like Paris Hilton, who has been seen at a lot of his parties, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kim Kardashian. We haven't seen these people come forward and say, hey, this is wrong. You know what else we haven't seen? We haven't seen the Me Too movement marching up and down the street. We haven't seen anything like this. And it makes me think, it makes me scratch my head. What's going on? Are more celebrities, including females, involved with this? I mean, it's something to think about, because I did realize this. We've had what we saw when Harvey Weinstein was arrested. I mean, the Me Too movement was very relevant and very helpful to a lot of women as well as men. Haven't seen that. Have not seen that. So I don't know if there's a reason for that, but yeah, it's definitely concerning. So if he is going to join me, I mean, we will see. But something else I want to play for you is, I don't know if anybody caught this, but Shine. Did you see Shine on Tamron Hall? Because I do want to play part of that. It's really, really interesting. And Shine was basically the guy that he took the heat for Diddy in the 1999 nightclub shooting that J-Lo was essentially there for as well. So, oh, hey, he's signing in. Great. So if we can get him in a minute, I'll play that after. Just because he's in jail doesn't mean he's isn't somehow getting his goons to strong arm people that might talk. I think he is a big circle. Yes, Forrest, I agree with you. And I also have his bail motion, the recent bail motion, that I can pull up. It's concerning. And I think that a lot of accusers should be concerned if they are thinking about bail for him. I mean, and this is true. I've said this before. It's all about the witness intimidation. Who knows what's going on? But also, we said this before as well. We literally said that, or was it, I forget who said it. Maybe it was Cheryl McCollum. She made a really good point, and this could have been offline just to me, but she's like, he talks to his family in jail. I mean, clearly we've seen him talk to his family. We've seen the Instagram post on his birthday. So he could have all these code words. Who knows? We don't know. It's just like you have to be silly to think that he's not in contact with anyone from the outside world. Hold on. He's needs the link again. I'm just sending this. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right, so hopefully we'll see him in a minute, but I do want to go over some of the here or the bail motion, because it's interesting, and it's about, oh my gosh, it's long. It's literally 26 pages long. Oh my gosh. And there's a lot of case law in it. Oh, hey, Simmy. Nice to see you. I'm so glad you guys are all here. But yeah, there's a lot of case law cited. So I'm scared for his accusers if this is a possibility. The next hearing is going to be on November 22nd. But I mean, I guess we'll see. We will see. Here he is. I'm going to add you to this stage. Okay, DeWitt? Okay. We'll see. We see you. Here he is. I'm going to add you to this stage. Oh, I can hear myself on your background. Here he is. I'm going to add you to this stage. Oh, I can hear myself on your background. Here he is. I'm going to add you to this stage. Oh, I can hear myself. You want to mute that so it's not so echoey? Here he is. I'm going to add you to this.
How about now?
Yeah, that's so much better. Hi. How's it going? I don't know if we can
hear
now? Me. Yeah, no, that sounds great. We can hear you.
Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I just ripping and running after Good Morning America this morning.
No way. That's so exciting. Oh my gosh.
God. Yeah. So I'm just blessed to be here and to keep my commitment with you. That was very last minute. They texted me last night. Hey, we're doing a show in the morning. We can't do a full interview, but we want to talk about you and your case. And so I was up all night getting them what they needed. And and they showed us. I've never been on Good Morning America. I've been on a lot of TV, but never been on Good Morning America. So it was pretty big.
That's super exciting. Now, let me ask you. So I actually just went over your lawsuit. Mm-hmm. It's pretty scary. But one thing that is, I think it's important to note, because, I was curious as well. How are you able to, bring this forward? Everybody's saying hi. Sorry, I'll pin the comments. Mr. Relentless. Yes, he is. And it is great to see DeWitt. But you were able
to answer your question. The law basically says that there's two ways that you can introduce a case after the statute of limitations. And number one is new information, new evidence. And number two is fear or intimidation. So coincidentally, Sean Combs got me on both. The first is I did an interview about a month and a half or 2 months ago with Pascal. And I made a 3-way call to Lance Calfee. I never got him on the phone. He was with me. He was my security that night. I hadn't talked to him. He was scared. I was scared. Everybody's scared of Diddy, but Lance decided clearly that he was all in, and he gave testimony, and that is my new information. Number two, absolutely. I'm not scared of him as an individual. I'm scared of his he's menacing. With his money and his power and influence and all the levels that he's built up over the years has been frightening. It makes him untouchable. It puts many levels of insulation between him and the individual with security that he has. And so funny, when I was at the courthouse, when I met you that day, I saw an old friend. And this old friend used to do all of the running around and stage stuff for Jodeci. His
Cool.
name. And I gave him a hug. It's like, oh my God, I hadn't seen you for decades. Wow, what's up? You know, he used to come to my dad's club. We used to hang out. I used to be at Jodeci's Devontae's home in Jersey. So I mean,
Yeah.
like it was like really close. And so he said, hey, yeah, what's going on? I was like, yeah. It got weird real quick. He's like, so what are you doing? I says, well, I have a book, and Diddy, he's like, oh, okay. Well, the family's about to pull up, so if you don't mind, try to keep it down.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's the ops.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
Wow.
literally had a brain freeze. I was so excited. I hadn't seen him in years, not realizing, oh my God, he's working with the family.
He's one of Diddy's goons, essentially. I hate to put it that way, but that's what it is.
Right. And
Yeah.
you are either on his side or you're on the other side, as far as I'm concerned. So we're
Yeah.
over. Um, he
Yeah.
even said, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's cool. Hold your sign up, speak your truth. But when the family comes out, kind of keep it, I don't want to, I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
So he must not know what's about to happen, because I was out there screaming on everybody.
Yeah, no, that was
So
real. I mean,
yeah.
I loved it. So it's funny you say that. Jodeci was actually mentioned in Joy Dickerson Neal's lawsuit. She said,
She
it,
mentioned. Did she mention Devontae?
I don't recall exactly, but I have to pull it up. But she basically said that Jodeci kind of warned her and was
Oh,
like, just so you know, there's some revenge porn that I've actually seen and you're in it.
um,
So he gave her this
um,
warning. So he was hanging out with Diddy a lot, but he seemed to do the right thing, I guess, back
mm,
then, because he's
yeah,
literally cited in the lawsuit. But
yeah.
who knows? He'll probably deny that, I'm sure, if he's on Diddy's side.
Are you saying Diddy?
No, I'm saying
Oh,
Jodeci.
oh.
So yeah,
So Joe. Yeah, it's hard when you say Jodeci, because Jodeci is
there's
a
two.
group of four
Yeah.
people.
So
Four
I don't
people.
I'll pull it up actually right
It's all
now.
good.
Let me
It's all
let me
good.
pull it up just to
So yeah. So yeah. The thing that I'm finding very interesting, which you were
mm,
talking about just now before I came on, is this, and I want to be real intentional.
yeah.
I want to be really intentional about this. All of these major celebrities, including the Kim Kardashian, including Ellen,
Yep.
including TD Jakes, including, um, I mentioned another name.
Mm. Well, I said Paris Hilton, but
Okay, but these folks, oh, Al Sharpton, these folks have raised Puffy, Sean Combs, Diddy up on a pedestal for decades.
yeah.
Ellen had him on her show at least 4 or 5 times. In fact, it's been very widely recognized that Wendy has been talking negatively about Diddy for a long time, but she
Yep.
still brought him on her show,
Oh
and they
yeah.
sort of made amends on her show. I want to be very specific here.
Mhm.
Kim Kardashian is at his parties and even talking about his parties at her home.
Yeah.
Al Sharpton is on video sitting on the steps inside of Sean's house while he's sitting on the steps, and basically giving him praise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm here to say that all of these major celebrities, what you've done is you've led the sheep to the slaughter.
Mhm. Yeah.
You've basically ushered millions and millions of people to say, okay, Diddy is good.
Yeah.
Diddy is okay. We believe in Diddy. We trust Diddy. We trust everything Diddy's about.
Mhm.
Yes, we'll go to his house and his parties.
Yeah.
Yes, we love Diddy because why? Ellen loves Diddy. Why? Because Al Sharpton loves Diddy, and oh my God, Al Sharpton's been on MSNBC and Fox. He's incredible. So
Yeah.
why would he steer me wrong?
Yeah.
The Today Show had Diddy on. It was Bad Boy on Today. They featured him and Busta Rhymes and 112, and they
Yeah.
had a big show on Rockefeller Center all morning. It was Bad Boy morning on the Today Show. You all have raised this monster up. You've led all of these millions of fans to his doorstep
Yeah.
so that he could menace them, so that he could prey on them,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that he
Right.
could rape them
Yeah.
and drug them and shoot at them.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So all of you have to atone. It's time for HOA.
Yeah. Yep.
It's time to clear. It's time to correct some things. Just because you step down from your show, Ellen, it doesn't. You have a platform. You're on the internet. TD Jakes, you step down, but guess what? You have a congregation. You have a platform.
Yeah.
You know, Al Sharpton's still on the air. Kim Kardashian is still on. You have a platform. You can fix this. We love you guys. Don't get me wrong. We love you guys, but you made a big mistake. You made a mistake. You praised this guy, and now you saw him harm and abuse and drag and kick Cassie on CNN for the world to see. And you know what? You guys went hush. You went into the closet. Now, so all of the good you've done, it doesn't even matter anymore. Because you're running away from the problem. Get in front of the problem. Get in front of the problem and tell people, yes, I was wrong. How can I fix this? How can I help the victims? How can I? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's more to this.
I do. But something I've noticed that any celebrity I ask, or if I have an interview, I always try to bring this up. You know, I interviewed John Sally a month ago. I interviewed Young MC the other day. Everybody that I've
tap dance.
Well, it's the tap dance and it's the distancing and it's the well, they don't really want to talk about the allegations. All they want to say is, and listen, they want to keep their distance. Okay, fine. But what they say is he's done so much good for the community. He's done this. And I'm just like, but multiple things can be true.
But guess what? Guess what? Like Dave Chappelle says, he saves, but he also rapes.
Okay.
So, okay. And then also, let's not talk about the allegations. Don't even talk about him shooting at me. Forget about any of that. Let's talk about Cassie alone.
Yeah.
You all saw what he did to Cassie. Not only that, let's say we didn't know that was him on the video. He admitted to it in a subsequent video. So don't give me that BS.
Yeah.
Don't give me that BS. Don't tap dance with me because I'm calling all of you out.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And Simi says, Mr. DeWitt speaks so well. I'll be checking him out when I can. Yeah. And you know, I'll put a link to your book, The Night Puff Tried to Kill Me. But let me ask you this. There you go. I was speculating, and I don't know if you can say this, but the bodyguard he was with that night, was it Gene Deal?
No, it wasn't Gene. I talked to Gene. I talked to him on a few occasions, and he said, no, that wasn't me, but I heard about it. And it was Wolf, most likely, you know. So it wasn't just the bodyguard, though. It was 4 cars of his hooligans. That was the thing. You know, look, not for nothing, if he jumped out of the car and say, hey, let's have a fair fight, that might have been the thing. I don't know. I didn't ask him for a fight. I didn't pull up on him. He pulled up on me. He instigated this thing. So, but guess what? If you're a celebrity today, and I have 2 things to share with you. I have a blockbuster to drop right now. If you're a celebrity today and you even spit on somebody, you're held to a higher court. And yes, you can be sued because yes, you have money and influence and fame, and you can harm somebody, or you can diminish somebody's value, or you can, you know, all of the things. But guess what? Because of the timing And because in 96 he initiated this violence against me, and because there were guns shot at me, and because there was this radical car chase, basically playing Grand Theft Auto with my effing life.
Yeah.
Guess what? Now the U.S. attorney will be calling me, because now guess what? They're trying to show the world why you have been creating this criminal enterprise for how long. So they want to go back as far as possible, because why? Because they want to show how Bad Boy and your companies have paid for your menacing activities, for your poor behavior in public. So I can't wait to get to the grand jury, Diddy. I can't wait. And the other thing is this: are we sleeping on his mother, who's on tape? His mother's on tape begging one of his victims, please don't hurt my son. Just take the money and go.
Yeah.
Do not hurt my son, please. Don't hurt my son, meaning don't go to the police, don't tell on him. This man, Shine, is now on Hulu talking about, like, this is who he is. I'm in your face telling you this is who he is. Natanya Rubin has been saying from day one, yes, he's the one that shot me in the face.
Yeah.
You saw what he did to Cassie.
Yeah.
All of these other people, you hear about the case with the guy at Macy's.
I know. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. No, that was awful. The Echo employee. I know. I'm so sorry. Gosh, your emotion is so raw and so real. And I apologize for, I guess, bringing all of this
No,
up.
it is what it is. But the point is like, he's been able to get away with this.
Yeah.
Alone, he ain't shit.
Yeah.
But with his goons and their guns, to make this guy get on his knees and perform fellatio on him, to the point that he leaves his job and leaves town and can't talk about it because he's afraid. There's a lot of people that have been afraid of this guy. And so we're not afraid anymore, because not just because we have a federal government, but we stand in unity. All of his victims stand in unity, whether you were raped or you were shot at, or you were there was a guy in the studio that was shot, right, in LA, that his son was in the room as well, in the bathroom.
And I mean, listen, Tupac. I think Diddy shot Tupac.
I don't know, but I could say the bathroom bit was serious, because he basically had them to push it outside of the studio, so it didn't, it was away from him. And so he basically controlled the narrative. He controlled the police. He also controlled the situation with Johnny Cochran and the shooting inside of Club New York, because let's keep it real. You're in crime and law. So how about this? How in the world was anybody able to keep J-Lo off the stand? Not only the prosecution, but the defense kept J-Lo off the stand. How is that possible?
Yeah.
She was in the club. She was in the VIP area. She was in the truck that got away. She was in the police station. All of that is relevant testimony when it comes to that case. How in the world were they able to keep J-Lo off the stand? You know why? Money. He paid everybody off. And how would Little Rod, in his latest lawsuit, even know about these things? Little Rod was a little tight. He's a little toddler. When the shooting took place, he wasn't even around. He wasn't even in the business. So unless Puffy told him these things, he wouldn't even have that information to share in a lawsuit. Right. You understand? So the only way he could learn about it was for Puffy to tell him, hey, I shot somebody and got away with it, or I paid witnesses to get on the stand for me. Johnny Cochran's gone now. We love Johnny. Okay, great. But hey, he's gone now. So unfortunately, we're going to need to throw mud on his name, or his investigator's name, or whoever it was that helped Sean Combs to manifest and manufacture the narrative that was able to get him off and to put Shine in prison. Woo! You
Yeah.
getting me hot today, Lauren. You getting me
No,
hot.
no. I mean, something you said, I
Oh,
want to go back to this, but you're expecting a subpoena from for to be a witness in front of a grand
yeah,
jury.
because
You're
I'm
expecting
not
this.
afraid. And here's the other thing: all of these celebrities that are tap dancing, they're tap dancing because of this. They still have an audience that resonates with his audience. They still have records that he produced on. They still have relationships that are mutual. They don't want to harm their bag, their money that's coming in. Maybe they get royalties. Maybe they're connected to his legacy and they want to see it out in court.
Yeah.
All of these things, they're
Yeah.
tap dancing because again, we saw what he did with Cassie. Just using that alone, you all should be speaking up. You should be all speaking out because what do we know about bullying?
Yeah.
This is beyond bullying. This is a next level adult-ish bullying, but it's now with guns. It's now with patriarchy. It's now with sexual assault and drugging people outside of their knowledge.
Yeah.
God forbid. Oh my God, putting putting dope in drinks. Oh, who would have thought of that? Would you get that from Cosby,
Mhm.
or Russell Simmons?
Yeah.
But the new thing, putting the horse drugs in the baby
Oh,
oil,
yeah. The
and
GHB
then
and
and
the
then
ketamine.
and
Yeah.
then oh, let me just let my masseuse put some oil on you. Let me just get So in other words, the drugs go through your pores.
Yeah.
So that's new, and that's what I can't wait for that to come out in court.
But I guess I mean, like, so obviously you want a jury trial. So you are
Absolutely,
expecting to be called in front of your own grand jury. But do you
yeah.
think you'll be called in front of a federal grand
Oh,
jury?
I absolutely plan to be a rook in this
Okay.
game because
Okay.
I'm the first gun victim.
Right.
Part of the US attorney's goal right now is to prove a criminal enterprise, right? And so they've got to show the grand jury violence. They got to show the grand jury all these things.
Great
And
point.
so I am the problem.
Mm.
I am the reason why you will not leave prison. I am the problem right now. I want the smoke. I don't work for any corporation. I give no fucks. Do you understand? Nobody can shut my money down. I don't care about my mutual friends to him. I am no filter. I'm 59 years old, right? And I've been able to tell my story on Good Morning America now, and Law and Crime tomorrow, and my story's documented now. It's also in the book now. So I
Yeah.
tell you what, I'm good. My legacy's out there. My books are out there. Like you can't stop my money. Diddy can't stop my money. He can't influence my voice. So you got the right one, Lauren. They got
Wow.
the right one.
That was powerful. But I mean, have you been looking over your shoulder at all? Have you sensed that anybody is following you, is
So
keeping an eye on you? Have you had these
so
feelings?
so so I know the ops now. They're all on
Yeah,
video. They've all been securing him when he's walking down the street. I know them now. I didn't
yeah,
know them before. I know them now. But guess what? We live in a different space and time now with cameras and ring cameras, and
yeah,
I got cameras all over the place. We got cameras on our phones, cameras in our cars. The things, people are being caught today on camera. So if somebody wants to stand up and be Diddy's avenger and
yeah,
wants to come for me, and if that is my fate, I'm open. I'm fine with it. I'm really fine with it. I'm like I don't think people get it with me. Like this
yeah.
book, by the way, doesn't just tell the night of the event. It's my memoir.
Mhm.
It's my memoir. So it talks about how I even got into entertainment. It talks about the challenges that I had moving along in life. My dad, Lauren, if you didn't hear the story, had his leg severed at age 17 because from a baseball accident in White
Oh,
Plains, New
wow.
York. He was heading to the Brooklyn Dodgers. And so my story is way bigger than Diddy. My dad is who's also he's from White Plains, but he moved to Mount Vernon. Puffy's from Mount Vernon,
Hmm.
and also my dad got a prosthesis, and by age 21, he was back on the baseball field throwing pitching for his team.
That's awesome.
and
Love
and
that.
then later on in life, he had five delicatessens, he had a nightclub, he had a liquor store, he sired six kids, he had rental income properties, a laundromat. I mean, my dad did the most with the least.
Yeah.
So my our story is way bigger than Diddy. And
Yeah.
so for him to try to erase me that night and play, like I say, play Grand Theft Auto with my life and the life of two others who are with me
Yeah.
is beyond comprehension. It's him thinking he's above the law. It's the reason why he's locked up right now. And again, it's the reason why he's never getting out. I don't care what his attorneys say, because they were probably toddlers or teenagers when this guy was attacking me.
Yeah.
So they're brand new to the game. They don't know shit about Mount Vernon. They don't know anything about our mutual friends. They know nothing about hip hop. They're all they're doing is studying TMZ. They
Yeah.
don't anything.
Well, did you feel that night? Did you feel that he was coming at you just to exercise power, just for fun, for the hell of it? Like, what did you feel the motive was that night?
So I'm clear that, first of all, we were business partners.
You
I
and Puff?
Yeah, yeah,
I
we were
didn't see.
business
I
partners.
didn't realize that.
Yeah, I probably, when I talked to you and you recorded the little interview we did in the
Yeah.
street, it was probably the shortest part of the longer story. But so Andre Harrell, who was once a rapper, I used to contract him. I used to pay him to perform for me. Before
Okay.
he was the president of Uptown, before he was before he was anybody, before he found Robin Thicke, any of that, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Okay.
So, so Andre Harrell and I were at the bar. My friend's bar is called Bentley's in New York City. And by the way, this is all in the book. So I just
Yeah.
want to preface that
Okay.
the night puff, this on Amazon, guys. It's everywhere. The night puff tried to kill me. It's really, this is a hardcover, by the way. So
Hmm.
um so we're at my Andre and I are at my friend's nightclub. His name is Steven Giuliano. He passed away. He owned a club called Bentley's. This very, very, very popular club in New York City. When I say very, like Madonna, Eddie Murphy, these are the
Yeah.
people that hung out. Mike Tyson.
Mhm.
I have a pic. I have a picture. No, that picture is at my party, but I have pictures with celebrities at that club. So anyway, long story short, me and Andre are at the bar, and Puffy walks up, and Andre said, "Hey, this is Puff, my intern." And so we shook. Oh, you from Mount Vernon? Yeah, from Mount Vernon. So let's talk, because I hear you're doing parties. I do stuff. Let's see if we can collab. So we talked. We collabed on some parties, and the big thing we collabed on was a basketball game known as CCNY.
Oh no.
And yep.
Oh, you were
Wait a minute,
involved in that?
but let me finish it though. Let me tell you. So I told him, let's do a basketball game, and we were going to use Kiss FM to. It was going to be our team versus Kiss FM, and Kiss FM had a basketball team, and it was going to be a fundraiser, and we were going to play in New Rochelle, New York. I got the gymnasium and everything, and getting a high school gymnasium wasn't easy, but I got the gym. We had the whole nonprofit thing set up. He was going to play on my team, and it was going to be a fun fundraiser. What he did was he took my idea. My basketball game was set for a Friday night. If you can imagine, I'm at the radio station. I'm networking. I'm making sure my game is going well. Okay, yeah, Puffy's gonna be there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm doing my thing every day, every day. Then I find out that he has scheduled a game for Saturday, the very next day. Not at the gymnasium, but for, like, I guess it's 15-minute drive away.
Yeah.
And so he basically took my idea, F you, I'm going to do it myself. And he put out flyers, and he invited a million people and the whole nine. And so
Yeah.
he didn't show up to my game. So he no-showed me. I ended up standing in for him playing basketball. It's not my thing. But when I left the gym, that night, I heard him on the radio with Wendy Williams,
Yeah.
and basically still promoting it. They were still promoting it, even though they were saying, no, don't come because it's sold out.
Yeah.
But we have all these celebrities coming. He's such and such is coming, and I just talked to LL, and they're all coming. But
Yeah.
so what? Don't come to the place that all the big celebrities are coming to. Is that what you're saying? So basically, they oversold the event.
Yep.
People got trampled to death. Not It was 9 people, but it was 10 because there was a pregnant girl, and
Yeah.
they don't talk about that too often. And not for nothing, but I was in my feelings, but I was also like I was also oh, karma.
Mm,
This is karma. This is what happens when you cheat, lie, whatever, con. And for me,
yeah.
that's what he did. He basically took my idea and did his thing. So anyway, Curtis Lewa calls me the next morning. Curtis and Lisa in the morning. They had a radio show on
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
ABC, and they called me and they said, "Who's this Puff Daddy guy?" Nobody knew who he was. Nobody,
Wow.
not a
Yeah.
one. In fact, he took the money and he ran. It was just like a lot. And so, I answered. Look, I realize what I am now. I'm a journalist. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
writer. I'm prolific. I get that. But back then, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, why would Curtis Lee will call me? Because I'm a thought leader. I'm a pawn at the time, a pawn in the game of life. You
Yeah.
talk to people who know things to learn, like you're talking to me now.
Mm-hmm.
And so he called me early in the morning and he asked me questions, and I answered him as truthfully as I could. And he's asking me about how did he get all these celebrities and how did he do this, and I answered him. Well, the next thing you know, Richard Bey called. And Richard Bey had this show called Nine Broadcast Plaza. And if
I
y'all don't
remember
know,
Richard.
he was the
Yeah.
Maury Povich of the day.
Mm-hmm.
He was the Sally Jesse Raphael of the day.
Yeah.
And so they sent a limousine, and we went over, me and my security. And before you know it, I'm on stage with William Kunstler, of all people,
Wow.
Dougie Fresh,
Yeah.
Sister Soldier, and a couple of the family members, people who died.
Oh.
And they had me there. So here's the thing. Nobody had the answers, Lauren.
Yeah.
Nobody had the answers. Just like nobody has the answers today. They're talking freak offs.
Yeah.
They don't know, how did he get from here to there? How is he manipulating these people? Like, I think Harvey is probably one of the people that's putting all of it together, because he's actually seeing the videos, right? We're not seeing the videos. He's actually seeing the pornographic videos, right? Harvey from TMZ.
Oh,
Because
Harvey Levin.
TMZ,
Got
because
it.
TMZ is like that inbox. They're getting all of this data in,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
they get to mold it and put it all together and make sense of it. So for me, I was that TMZ back then. Because why else would Curtis Slewa call me and doesn't know who Puffy is? You don't know who Puffy is?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Right.
just
Right.
saying,
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
for for me, I was in the mix. I was in music. He was introduced to me,
Right.
right?
So the night of the car chase and
Yes, yes.
the
Years
like the
later, by the
shooting,
way, about
it
5 years,
was
6 years later,
okay. So that was 60. Okay. So it was his motivation was that you.
he had a beef in his mind, but because I was on TV with Richard Bey, but I
Yeah.
wasn't on TV saying Puffy is the worst, or I wasn't attacking him, nothing. I was just answering questions
Yeah. Yeah.
from Richard Bey. I was just answering questions with Curtis Slewa. I'm just
Right.
answering questions. Well, it's a little different today when you're asking me questions, or when all these people, I'm going hard. But
Right. Right.
but
Right.
but but then I was just answering questions. Even though I had a little bit of feelings because he took my idea, I still it still didn't mean, it was not a
Yeah.
deal breaker, like, okay, you should die or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So, or I'm gonna shoot you or whatever. It wasn't anything like that. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, about 5 or 6 years passed. We had seen each other, by the way, in between that time.
Yeah.
Um, and and um, and then in '96, what happened was I was wearing a shirt that said Death Row East on it. And when I came out of the club that night, and we were working, I had been picking up money that day from people that were advertising in my magazine, and I have my magazine here too. I have, but and so we went to that club to network.
Mm-hmm.
We were in there for an hour. We came out of the club, and it was night and day, because when we went in the club, there was only a line of people to get in the club. But
Yeah.
when we came out of the club, the streets were mobbed. It was like a whole party going on out there, because the club was already sold out. Like there was nobody else coming in the club.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But we were able to get in because I was a known promoter. I was a known figure. So they let me in, and my two guys, just let us in, and we don't pay. They just that's how it goes.
Yeah.
And so when I came out, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. It's brightly lit out there. There's a lot of people, but the eyes are who's coming out of the club, like who's a celebrity, who are the people coming out of the club.
Yeah.
So I come out of the club with my guys, and I got this Death Row East t-shirt on. And of course, he's got beef with Suge Knight, right? Everybody knows that. That's notorious.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk across the street to my truck, and I guess I looked like I was, I don't know, Teflon Don, but I was honestly just an entrepreneur at the end of my day, to be honest with you. And I got in my my trooper, and Lance got in the passenger seat, and Rico, my intern, was in the back seat, and he pulled up. He was in the passenger seat. So he instructed his bodyguard to pull up to the car. And literally, we're like 2 feet away from each other. If you could picture it, I'm against the curb. Lance is closest to the sidewalk. I am closest to the street side. And then his car is like a feet or two away, right next to me. And Puffy's there in a convertible, top down, summertime, August. Yeah. And then his bodyguard is driving. So they just kind of ease up to me. So clearly Puffy saw the shirt, knows who I am, and instructed his bodyguard to pull up. And that's when it all started to go downhill. Right. And it not for nothing, but you wouldn't do that if you were alone. You wouldn't do that if you first of all, in '96 he was popping. He was making a lot of money. Okay. Yep. So you had all this money, but yet you still coming for me? Why?
That's why I have to think that he did a lot of this for fun and games, it seems like, which is
he was
really
playing
demonic.
Like I said, he's playing Grand Theft Auto with my life, but also he was living life like it was one big movie, shoot 'em up, bang bang movie. And hey, look, movies are to blame, to be honest with you. Back in the day, we had the Keystone Cops and Charlie Chaplin, right? And we had the fun movies that, once you got shot, you got up. Literally, once you got shot in the Keystone Cops,
that's funny,
you got up.
Yeah, I mean,
even in the circus, when they shoot you, you get up.
Right.
Okay. And those were the it's not that way today.
No.
So Puffy has been brought up on Scarface. He's been brought up on New Jack City. He's been brought up on all of the blood and the gore that we see on TV and on film. So yeah, he's the product of the environment, but there's something called discipline. There's something called not surrendering to thrills and temptations and all like that. There's something called like the golden rule. There's good behavior. Something called good behavior. Yeah. And so no matter what you see on TV, right? No matter what you see on TV, you still have to do the right thing. Because when you don't do the right thing, guess what? Yeah. There's two options. You go to jail or you go to the hospital.
Yeah.
There's only one or two options there. And he's chosen jail for his poor behavior. He chose jail.
Well,
Yeah.
Let me ask you
Sorry, I
this.
hear you.
No, let me ask you if do you have a plan? And not that you would necessarily need one. And look, I don't think he's going to be granted bail, but the next bail hearing is November 22nd. How are you, as well as the other accusers, going to feel if he is granted bail until his May trial? Would this change anything for you?
I wrote a letter to the judge,
Mm.
as well as the district attorney's office, and it's compelling.
Yeah.
I literally am one of his first gun victims. I believe, yes, we are. He can keep asking for bail. Has anything changed between the second or third time that he's asked? They brought this other guy, the Abercrombie,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever, into the
Mike
mix.
Jeffries. Hmm.
But Jeffries is 80 years old, right?
Mm.
He's not likely to. He's not a threat at all. And they're different lifestyles, the two
Yeah.
of them.
Right.
So to weigh and measure Puffy, Diddy, Sean Combs against Jeffries is lopsided. It's like putting a lightweight against a heavyweight in a boxing match. Do you understand? And so
Yeah.
it's the two don't match. Diddy has been doing this for years, and by the grand jury testimonial, at least it goes back for decades. But if I can get in there, I can show it going back to almost 30 years, right? And if we
Crazy.
can show that, and I have witnesses, and I'm now, I'm on record now,
Yeah.
right? If I can explain to them that, and that if they can put two and two together, the judge can put two and two together and continue to hold this dude without bond. I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with that.
Yeah. I mean,
I am
this
not afraid, by the way, if he gets out, because there will be a higher level of threat, but also it makes the game a little bit more spicy. It does make it a little more spicy. Not for nothing, people that subscribe to his behavior, they will feel empowered. His fans, because his fans are reckless right now, and they're saying, free Puffy, right? And so they're reckless right now. So yes, if they let him out, they will also be empowering his army, and it's a
I have
virtual
not seen
army.
anyone say free Puffy. I cannot believe that. If
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
actually do that. They've done it to me in my face when I was in New York.
yeah,
They did it in front of the courthouse when they were driving by.
yeah,
They do it online now. These keyboard cowards who have never met any celebrities in their life, and they live in the backwoods of whatever. They say the most reckless things, and
yeah.
I've got yeah. So yeah, it's real. It's real. It's his army, the army of believers that will do anything just to get in his good graces. And so that's what the judge has to look at. He has to look at all of the things, and he has to protect society. Because if something
Yeah.
happens to one of us when he lets him out, it'll be on his head. The blood will be on his head. And I don't want to even use that as a threat to the judge. I'm just simply saying, like, a writing campaign needs to go on, a letter writing campaign. And that's what Busby should have been doing. He's doing all this press and media. He needs to
Yeah,
have
he sure
his
is.
clients, he
Yeah.
needs to have them writing letters to the judge. That's what he needs to do.
Well, I think you make a good point. So Mike Jeffries did not have any weapons charges, and we know that Diddy defaced 3 AR-15s that they
That part.
found, and that's like, I
And
mean,
why would you do that? Why
exactly.
in the
There's
world
one
would you do
effing
that?
reason. There's one reason, okay? I'm just saying. So that's a great point. With the weapons involved, especially with your lawsuit, I'm like, I think all the survivors here should feel really good about what you said. You are the key to the enterprise, to the criminal enterprise. This is aside from the alleged sex trafficking, whatever. This is bad. And this dates to 1996 when he had the, and Lance is corroborating this as well. So I think you make a really good point. You right now, friend, are the key to this. You are holding this together. And I think you're right. I think you will be in front of a federal grand jury. And just to add to what Forrest wrote here, he wrote, don't you think all these celebrities that are involved are simply shutting up and hoping that when Diddy goes down, it'll all be shuffled under the rug, their involvement? 100%. I think so. But
look, a lot of them that are not sort of involved and just went to the parties. I get it.
Sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But right now I'm holding others accountable, HOA. I'm holding them accountable, the ones that are the most influential, because as I said, they are the ones that have led the sheep to the lion.
Yeah.
When Al Sharpton is sitting on the steps inside of Diddy's house and praising him, like, man, I can't believe all this good stuff you're doing. Congratulations, man. And then they kiss each other on the cheek. Like, you're basically saying that this guy is good. I'm a reverend who was just with Kamala and just with, I'm on TV all the time. I'm saying this guy is good, or Ellen, who brings him on her show 4 and 5 times.
Yeah.
And says, oh, I know about your parties. He. Ellen, you owe it to your fans now to undo what you've done. Because when you laughed about his, oh yeah, we know about the party after the party, what you're doing is you're laughing at the victims, Ellen. You're laughing at the victims. You're laughing at the victims, Ellen. You're laughing at Cassie. Yeah. So what we need to hold these celebrities accountable to. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep being quiet? You can't. We don't like bullies over here. We don't stand for bullies over here.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if Ellen necessarily has any fans left, so that's the good thing. But also, I recall specifically when Ellen had Puffy on, and Puffy was defending Chris Brown, and I was really surprised at how Ellen backed off so quickly. Ellen started off being like, you can't hit a woman, da-da-da-da. And then as soon as Puffy was talking, I don't know if she was intimidated. I'll have to find that clip. I don't know what went through her head, but all of a sudden she was just kind of like, okay, yeah, I guess you make a good point, and I was like, no, he didn't make a good point at all.
And see, these are the platforms, though. That was the platform. And so that her platform was powerful. It mobilized many, many people and lots and lots and lots of millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And basically, when she has the platform and she has all of these advertisers, right? And brands that are paying in, and she brings Puffy on, she's actually the glue that carries people over to Puffy and vice versa. So she's creating that brand immersion.
Yeah.
And she's asking for our trust and our dollars to back her. So anybody that has a platform like her, like Kardashian, whatever, they're basically, like I said, they're the shepherds. They're ushering the sheep to the lion. And that's what they've done. And so we have to hold them accountable. And this is the day and age to do that. The internet is so powerful that they can look, they made J-Lo cancel her concerts. Like she can play Pollyanna all she wants, but at some point the lady who held the gun is gonna have to speak up, because karma speaks so much louder, J-Lo.
Yep. I totally agree. Well, DeWitt, what can we do to support you? I'll put your link for your book, but like what can we do to
for sure.
Yeah.
Look, get the book, but get a few copies, get them for friends, get the hardcover copies. Like I have to pay to go to New York.
Yeah, right.
I have to show up. You know, this isn't in my budget. You
Hmm.
know, I
Right.
and I mean these are things that help me. You know,
Yeah.
getting the book out there, because I like this will sell for the till the end of time. Now,
Mm.
at the end of the day, this is unfortunately all that I have. You know, I have a lot of books. I have things coming, and I write great nonfiction, self-help books and things of that nature. I write a lot of great fiction, but at the end of the day, for me to mobilize and speak like I'm speaking, you know, I don't have Diddy money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it helps when I get on Good Morning America. I'm going to be on Law and Crime tomorrow. That's huge.
That's so great.
Um,
Are you going to be with
that I'm
Jesse?
sitting with Jesse for a half hour. I'll
Oh
be with him
yeah,
for a
love
half hour.
Jesse.
That's
That's great.
huge.
That's
Um,
great.
um, Good Morning America loved me. They want me back. Banfield loved me. They want me back.
Yeah.
So Pascal, he's like, I need you back. I need you back. This is great, but um, we gotta push. We gotta push on Nancy. Nancy's on Diddy's neck. We
Oh
gotta
yeah.
push
I
on.
I I sent your info. Don't worry.
We
Don't
gotta
worry.
push
Yeah,
on.
he is.
We gotta push on Cuomo and
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith because they're on Diddy's neck. You know, and we can't just watch LeBron just say, okay, so I'm just gonna delete or block Diddy off of my Instagram. No, sir. No, you
I don't
are
trust
on
I don't
video
trust
saying
LeBron
his
as far as
parties
I can.
are the bomb.
Yeah,
You have said his parties are the bomb. You are just as bad as Ellen. You
totally.
need to atone. You need to
Totally.
fix this. And I'm not
Totally.
saying like LeBron, great. All of the people I mentioned, great people, great brands, but you need to fix this.
Hmm.
This guy is a monster. He's a predator, and he
Yeah.
hurt a lot of people. And by the grace of God, I wasn't one. I got away. I'm the one that got. That should be my title, my next book. I'm the one that got away.
I
I
know, right?
really am.
That's a great title. Well, I really appreciate you
Thank you
coming
so
on
much.
here. I'm going to drop you out before I
Okay.
go to start playing interviews so I don't waste any of your time.
Thank you
But
so much.
no, thank you so much. And we'll be in touch. Like I said, you know, I'm passing around your info to everybody so
Thank
they
you so
can get
much.
you.
All right.
Yeah. Best of luck. And thank you again for sharing your story. We
All right.
appreciate
Take
you.
care. God
Okay.
bless.
Bye. Okay, guys. So he's awesome. I mean, wow. When he said he's unafraid and he's essentially the piece of the puzzle to bring down Diddy's criminal enterprise, which I think is pretty incredible. So let me just fix this. Okay. So I want to just quickly play this clip for you guys. It's basically when Ellen, the one when I was talking about Ellen interviewing Diddy, and he was essentially defending Chris Brown, which is interesting. Rihanna hasn't said anything. Obviously, she's just one of the many celebrities who's been silent. But watch this. I think I'll probably play it on. Well, actually, it's 3 minutes, so I can play it regular speed. Okay. So watch this interview. And I don't know if you guys remember it, but I felt like she backed off rather quickly. And Diddy has a lot to say about Chris Brown and why. And this is literally, I think it was weeks after Chris Brown had punched Rihanna. She had the black eye, and Diddy really sticks up for him. And now we know why.
Well, this leads me to the perfect thing, because I would like you to clear something up. There's
Yes.
a lot of talk going on with Chris Brown being at your place in Miami, and you arranging Chris and Rihanna getting back together. Now, you want to talk about that?
See, I wouldn't use my Twitter to talk about that because that's somebody else's business.
I know, but
you
gave them your house.
Yeah. But we're talking about Twitter.
Yeah.
How you use Twitter, and that's something else. I'm just saying I wouldn't really Twitter about that.
Okay, let's not Twitter about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay. Sure.
Let's talk about it, because I think you clearly have a lot of people going, why would you do that? Why would you give Chris, a guy who hit a girl, and he's jet skiing around in your you know, I don't understand, because I mean, listen, I was a huge fan of Chris's. I love Chris, his music. He's a talented guy, but to hit a girl.
Yeah, because I know both of them, and it's my house, and I'm allowed to give my house to whoever I want to give my house to. That's number one. Number two is that I'm the type of person that I don't cast a stone or cast a judgment on anybody. And so if a friend or friends ask me for a favor, then I'm gonna be there for a favor, as long as I know that the energy of the favor is positive for two people to sit down and talk about a situation that they're in. I'm not gonna get involved in it. I'm not gonna pass judgment on it. If I could be there as a friend during hard times, then I'm gonna be there as a friend. But I don't know the exact particulars. I didn't get into it. I'm not gonna do this or do that. It's a dark time for them, and I was there more as a support. That was it.
I think you were coming from a place of a friendship and of kindness and support. And I, you know, it's just, it's hard for me, and I don't believe in judgment either, but I don't want any girl out there thinking it's okay to go back to a guy who hit her. I don't want any girl to think that.
I don't think.
And I don't mean to put you in this, it's not you.
No, but you all put me in it. So I'm gonna speak on it. I don't think that it's right for anybody to hit anybody at the end of the day, you know. And I don't think it's right. You know, I think that we all have to be honest with ourselves as adults. And people have been in relationships, you know. We know sometimes those relationships get ugly, you know, and sometimes it doesn't come out into the forefront the way this one has come out. And it's a lot of stones being thrown, and we don't know exactly what's going on. These are two young individuals. We need to pray for them, and we need to give certain support, but you don't need to start just saying that you know something that you don't know. You wasn't in that car. I wasn't in that car, and it isn't right.
Okay, sorry. He's basically saying we weren't there, so we don't know why he hit her, but there's a reason he hit her. What? This makes no sense.
But him to put his hands on her or her to put his hands on him, and we don't know what the problem is, but we need to pray for them, and we need to do things to support them. And that's all I want to say about it.
I agree with you. I want to support them. Here's how I'm going to help you now.
Yeah, it's nice.
We take a break and do it afterwards?
Can we dance?
Yes.
I would like to dance.
Dance. Do it.
Oh, this is really gross. Really, really gross. Okay. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. So yeah, I remember watching that and thinking to myself, he's saying, oh, well, nobody was there, so we don't really know why he hit Rihanna. We just have to pray for them. What? I mean, yes, we can pray for them, but it doesn't matter if we were there or not. Chris Brown hit Rihanna, and Diddy's telling all of us to mind our business, that he probably had a reason, essentially. So yeah, that was terrible. And oh my gosh, yeah, her face was literally, I mean, I remember that black eye. That was so horrific. It was so awful. Now I just want to go back to the Tamron Hall show, because this just aired. I think it was yesterday. It was 18 hours ago, actually. I'm going to pull this up, and I know, Forrest. That was also very, very dizzying. But just watch this. This is super powerful, super moving.
Okay. One morning he got up. We were living in Brooklyn, and he said, Mom, I got a thing from God telling me that I can rap and I can be somebody, big in the industry. I said, boy, go to college. What I said it with an obscene language. The two biggest rappers had got killed, Tupac and Biggie, and then now you come telling me that you want to be another big rapper. And I didn't tell him, but I saw death and jail.
Welcome back. We are live, and we're talking to people behind the headlines. We are back with politician Moses Shine Barrow, and behind the headlines of his life has always been his mother, Frances Franklin, who joins our conversation now. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. When you look back at that reflection, he comes to you in Brooklyn, and by then had a reputation. You see in the documentary, Shine worked for everything. You're standing out front of the barbershop. You're trying to meet everybody in the industry, and then you have to go to the big boss and say, this is what you want to do. When you look at how it all played out, you said it would be death or jail.
Very devastating, heartbreaking, because it breaks my heart to see him go to jail. And I prayed on it. I prayed, and I grown spiritually. And I said, I accepted it afterwards when I pray and said, God saved his life. He saved him. He put him away to save him. I will feel that end up getting off with the other people, maybe he wouldn't have been here, or he would have spent the rest of his life in jail.
I think that's so interesting. You're saying that if he had gotten off of that case, he likely would have returned to the rap world, returned to that world, and he wouldn't be the man he is today.
Yes, I agree 100%.
That is a very Shine. Even hearing your mom say that, I go back to that turtle analogy. You know, we say that there are many times blessings when there's failure or hard times. You see it in real time with his life.
God, I consoled myself because I was very angry. I cried every day.
You felt that he was betrayed. You said in the documentary.
Yes, he was betrayed. Because I sit in the courtroom every day, me and my mom, and I watch and see them bring different people to testify. The lawyers, they were working together. Because one time I got so upset to go after one lawyer, but my son stopped me. He said, Mom, you keep out of this. But I felt it. He was betrayed by the lawyers and his co-defendant.
In the documentary, I don't want to reveal too much, the explanation of that word betrayal, because there's another individual who had a criminal history, who was a bodyguard. There was Sean Combs as well. And of the three, the discussion amongst lawyers, it seems, was that you were the most disposable. Mm-hmm. You were, even though you were the bright future of hip hop, you going instead of other people made sense to someone.
Yeah.
Seeing your mom every day, and I watched the doc, and you go from this baby face to this mature man. Your mother changes in her appearance. It is both of your stories. It's not just yours.
Indeed, and I think, for me, I see the phoenix rising from the ashes, and I think just having my mom here, going from the audience to the couch, is an evolution within itself. And I think the most important thing is where I'm at now, is the fact that I'm being celebrated now. This documentary is a celebration. Disney doesn't do documentaries on everyone, and it is a testimony of my durability. I've been around in the music industry, and now as a politician, it's been about 26 years. So to still be here and to still be relevant, and as I said, this deal was done years ago. To me, it's just something that my mom can keep praying to God and say, God, thank you, because this life, I believe, I died and came back because that person and that life. Oh, nice. My second album was Godfather Buried Alive, because going to prison is like being dead. And then coming out of prison, I had to put the pieces back together. That's when I was in Belize, and then I traveled to Israel, and then I was living in Paris, and I put the pieces of the puzzle of my life together. And here I am now. I wouldn't want to be anybody else. I'm on the verge of becoming the next prime minister of Belize. Yeah. And that's where I'm at, right? And my mom could be here with me celebrating, because it's a celebration.
It is. It's also a family perseverance. I mean, at one point, and I have to see it in person, your hand, you have his name tattooed, Moses, on your hand. Yes. Why did you want his name there as Moses?
I don't know, just as a symbol of love and caring, being there. I have his other name, Shine, on my shoulder.
You're like mom goals over here. I can tell you, when I saw his name, I thought to myself, because it was the hand that he was holding the entire time, because you were there from the beginning to this beautiful point of now. And that's a mom. That's a mom. Wow. My team, this is a live show. Everything is gone crazy. They told me that you wanted to show me something.
Oh, I have a gift for you. The last time I was here. The last time I was here, I brought a gift.
Last time you were here, and I have to be honest, listen.
And that gift is still in your house?
It is still in my house.
Yes.
Listen, there are guests that come on. I love all of our guests. We're almost at our 1,000th show. Not just because I have a Moses.
Congratulations.
Not just because I have a Moses and your name is Moses, but I would be lying to you at home if I told you I was completely not very clear on how I feel about you as a person. I think you're a wonderful person. I've watched you do great things for your people, for people. And so I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't have an opinion, because I do. I'm going to keep it to myself. Yeah. But I have an opinion about what you're doing, and it's a great thing.
Thank you.
It's a great thing, and I'm so proud of you.
And thank you. And so a part of what I'm doing for my country is always promoting our arts and our culture and our tourism. And so there's a brilliant artist by the name of Janelle Leslie from deep down in the South in Placencia. Her mom passed away, and she's taking care of her brothers and her sisters, and she has an art gallery. She's one of my favorite artists. My house, my offices are littered with her paintings. So this is mine. This is yours. This is a painting of you. A great way to
thank you.
That's really
thank you.
You're so beautiful. It doesn't do you justice.
Oh, you're kidding me? It's going in my house.
It can never be as gorgeous as you actually are in person. But
beauty is from the inside, and yours.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this because I just want to show you. This is what he's promoting, or he's doing appearances for. There is a new documentary out on Hulu or Disney Plus, and it's called Shine. That's very cool. Now I can't wait to watch it. And it's called The Honorable Shine. Sorry. The Honorable Shine tells the remarkable story of Moses Shine Barrow, the Grammy Award-winning musician turned politician. A rising star in the late 90s, Shine's promising rap career was cut short after being charged in a high-profile New York nightclub shooting along with Sean Combs. And Shine was convicted in 2001 and sentenced to 10 years in prison, while Combs was acquitted. After prison, Shine reemerged in his native Belize, where he transitioned from music to politics, ultimately becoming the leader of the opposition party. His journey is one of redemption, resilience, and transformation. This documentary provides an intimate look at Shine's personal evolution as he navigates fame, incarceration, and a return home to Belize, where he finds new purpose and strives to lead his country to a brighter future. And now, knowing what we know, I have chills. And I knew this, right? Like, I knew this. I know this story. Shine was convicted and he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. But I guess we didn't realize at the time how orchestrated this all was, that Sean Combs had power and he had money. And at that point, he had the justice system in the palm of his hand. That's clearly terrifying. So, wow, I think that's so amazing that that Shine is doing so well and he's so positive, and he might be the next prime minister of Belize. That is so cool. Well, yeah. Oh my gosh. He had John. That's so crazy. I cannot believe that. So just lastly for today, I do want to share Diddy's bail motion, the most recent bail motion. So let me see. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I don't know if anybody has seen this yet, but it's very long. There's a lot of case law that's incorporated in this, which I think is necessary at this point. But they basically say, and I pulled it up to page 16, that, one of the reasons that we believe he has no shot at bail is because of witness intimidation. And the prosecutor brought forth a bunch of text messages that he sent to Kalena. I always forget her last name, Kalena something. When the Danity Kane lawsuit came out, if you know her last name, why I always blank on it, just drop it in the comments. But so there was that the prosecutor actually cited. And then in this motion, he's saying the government's obstruction and witness tampering allegations were false. And it says, the discovery also undermines the government's argument that Mr. Combs attempted to tamper with other individuals, including grand jury witnesses. During the previous bail hearing, the government outlined what it billed as obstructive communications with grand jury witnesses in June and July of 2024. It further characterized Mr. Combs' September 2024 communication with another person as witness tampering. That's Kalena. Judge Carter considered this the government's most persuasive evidence, posing the question to the defense. Quote, if he's aware of this April 1st, 2024, then why, again, is he contacting witnesses in June and July of 2024? What could be the purpose of Mr. Combs continuing to speak to that witness after September 11th? I don't know. I mean, I feel like there could be a lot of reasons, but whatever. And then it just goes on. One grand jury witness contacted him, not the other way around. Right. But if he wrote back, I mean, he's still communicating with them. He also could just take the high road and be like, I can't talk to you. It also says in opposing let me go back. And to the extent individuals were contacted, defense counsel explained that to conduct a responsible defense investigation, it must, of course, continue to interview witnesses. In opposing these arguments, the government misled the court and concealed the actual content of the communication. The truth, however, is that a grand jury witness, the one with whom Mr. Combs had not spoken in several years, and then this part is redacted. These statements, which the government conveniently withheld from the court, is in no way evidence obstruction. The same is true of the individual whom Mr. Combs contacted in September of 2024, but during its proffer to the court, The government concealed these facts, which completely undermine its claim that the timing of the contacts with the person in September 2024 suggest obstruction. I'm just going to stop right there. Oh, I should have taken that banner down. I feel like it's tough to take a lot of these claims seriously when they had claimed that the government, and this is Diddy's team, when he had claimed that the government leaked that video of Cassie and Diddy. It just, and also they accused him of leaking information, grand jury information to the media, and that was just found to be false. So I do think they're grasping at this point, but nobody wants to stay in MDC. I just feel like there's no chance, and HE double hockey sticks that he is getting out, especially, because so many people have come forward now and people are terrified. People, I think, would be absolutely terrified to know that he could potentially be out on bail. I don't think it's happening. I don't think they have any more of a case or an argument than they did last month, but that'll be November 22nd. Maybe I will head down to federal court for that. Let's see. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate you being here and listening. And DeWitt he's awesome. I loved everything he had to say. He's a powerhouse and he is fearless. So, all right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, whatever it is that everybody does. And I'll be back. Thanks, guys. Because of that 9-line. And had proof that, look, if you're not into geopolitics,